What's up, bosses? I am JoeMan543. Welcome to the stream tonight. As the title suggests, tonight we're gonna make a tier list. A tier list of all the weapons in Cursed Halo. Did you know there's 57 weapons in Cursed Halo? I'm sure some people have different opinions. Leave those in the chat or comments, depending on when you watch this. Now, there's a lot of weapons in Cursed Halo, right? Now, just going off this list might not give you as much of an idea as you might want to see. So, I've come prepared with someone else's video. I'll put a link in the description after the stream finishes. Here's my my sheet that I'm going in order of. So, without further ado, let's start off with the huge Magnum. The huge Magnum is, well, a Magnum that's huge and does a lot of damage. I have a few problems with the huge Magnum. One, not a lot of ammo, but it does make up for it by having, you know, a lot of bang for its buck. You don't pick it up very often in the campaign. So, anyway, you don't pick it up very often. So I'm thinking it's all right, but I definitely don't use it very often. And it's a little unpredictable in a weird way. You shoot at stuff and sometimes it's like a blunderbuss and it doesn't hit faraway stuff. So with that, I'm gonna put it in B tier. So huge Magnum going in B tier. All right. Now some of you might think huge Magnum is way better, but I don't know. Jacob Castro, the tool guns are awesome. It depends which tool gun we're talking about. They're pretty far down the list, but we'll get there. And I might have to speed up. I spent 3 minutes per thing. We're going to be here way longer than I want to. All right. So continuing onward, the upside down Magnum. I don't think I need to explain this one, but it's a Magnum upside down. It's really annoying to use. All of your movement and everything is reversed. Left is right, right is left, up is down, down is up. And it only does the damage of a normal pistol, which, you know, could be useful, except for those dang controls. I've tried it out. I can't think of a useful place to put it, and it's honestly very frustrating to use. So, this is a solid F tier. I would never choose the upside down pistol. It's that bad. It will get plenty of other things in F tier. Don't you worry. Mr. X, welcome to the stream. Thruster tool gun is 10 out of 10. We'll see. We'll see about that. It's definitely a good one, but we're thinking way far ahead. All right, normal Magnum. I don't even need to show this. Normal Magnum for Halo CE. Good gun. Does good damage. Most importantly, it does distance damage. There's a lot of weapons that struggle in Halo 1, in Cursed Halo for distance. So Magnum, I'm gonna put that a solid S tier. Now this is all relative, right? There's a lot of garbage in Cursed Halo. There's a lot of crazy stuff in Cursed Halo, but the Magnum stands out as just simply good. That's why it goes in S tier. It's already a good Halo 1 gun, but when you compare it with everything else, it's fantastic. All right, the regular Halo 1 pistol. That's the one with the really long magazine. That one is everything that the Magnum is, but even better. It's more bullets, it fires faster. It's just better, right? Fantastic. I would love to have this. Anytime I get it, the rest of the level's a breeze. I don't have to worry about anything. I love it. The crash gun finishes the game immediately, thus S tier. You're funny. All right, well, moving on to dual Magnums. Dual Magnums are all right. Man, things are not in order down here, but it's not in here somewhere. There it is. Dual Magnums, they're all right. You can't melee with them, and you can't throw grenades, so that's a little not good piece. You do pick them up. You can pick it up a few times in the campaign, so it's a pretty good weapon, but because of not being able to throw stuff or melee, that's going to drop it down a tier. So I'm going to put that in A tier. you know, you do fire more, but still being able to throw stuff is worth having just one pistol. So, thus, A tier, the dual magnums. We need a new tier for the OG Magnum. Send it way past. I mean, anyway. Alright, the throwable pistol. So this is the one that is pointed back at the player, and if you fire it, it shoots you. But you can throw it. It has infinite ammo. It does great damage if it makes contact, and usually if it bonks them on the head, it's an instant kill. You start the game out with this. It's the first weapon after you see keys, and I've gotten pretty good at it. It's a fantastic weapon. I would say it is S tier, up there with the other... Oh, hold on, I can't... I gotta drag this in two parts here. It's S tier, up here with the other few variations of the Magnum. The Magnum in general is a good gun, as you can tell. Don't worry, we'll get past the variations of the Magnum. I'm gonna turn the music down just a little bit. Can you hear it? Alright. So, moving on to, not the Magnum, the NES Zapper. The NES Zapper only deals damage if you get headshots. It does a lot of damage if you get headshots, but only if you get headshots. That can be difficult. It is nice to have a ranged option, but given that it only deals damage with headshots, that's going to exclude it from S tier, and you don't get a lot of ammo with it. So even if you're a really good shot with it, really good aim, you're not going to be keeping it very long. I would put that in B tier, like even kind of low B tier, B minus tier. Yeah, just even if you're a good shot with it, you only get a few shots, and that's just not great. All right, battery rifle. Now, the battery rifle isn't too much different from regular Halo CE, except it starts firing slow, ramps up, and if you don't take your finger off the trigger, it will explode, which is funny, but functionally, that's kind of a problem. So, if you want to, you know, not explode, gotta watch out for that. But still, pretty useful, fires a lot of bullets, holds a lot of ammo. You'll probably just never run out, because it picks up a ton of ammo. And so, because of that, I'm going to put it in A tier. The NES gun has saved me from the Minecraft elites more times than I care to count. Well, hey, I'm glad it's worked for you. There's a lot of other weapons that are great for it. Zapper is C tier. I'm starting to agree, but I've already put it on the board. Battery rifle is B tier. I don't know, I've used it pretty successfully, but hey, this is my tier list. Moving on, though, we have a variation of the battery rifle, the AR-2, which is like a battery rifle, but it doesn't hold as much ammo. You don't pick up ammo for it, like, ever, and it fires like laser shots, as a reference to Half-Life 2. And if you hold your grenade button, it will fire a projectile that will bounce off of whatever it hits and probably kill whatever it hits if that's an enemy, which is pretty useful. But it does have the ammo issues, and if it bounces back or if it's in a closed space, you're in danger. So because of that, especially because of the ammo issues, I'm putting this one in B tier. Don't worry, C and D will fill up. There's some garbage ones that aren't as garbage as Upside Down Pistol. Don't worry. AR-22. So, this one is basically like the AR-2, but every shot is one of those charged projectiles, and it's really hard to rapid fire it, and it's really dangerous to use. It does a lot of damage, but honestly, you're probably going to kill yourself with it. I don't really like to use it. So, where do I have it in here? Oh yeah, I just put 2 Half-Life symbols on it. I'm going to put that in C tier, because it's just so hard to use. So dangerous for the user. There's a lot of better weapons out there. I'm so upset you put dual magnums even though you actually can melee and grenade with them. Unless that was updated, you can't though. You can't. Alright. Without further ado, assault rifle. Okay. Some people are going to love the assault rifle. I don't. It does minimal damage. It does make whoever's on the receiving end look down, which is kind of funny, but I've been on the receiving end and it's not that hard to look up again, so it's not all that useful. But yeah, minimal damage. It has range, but I don't know. I'm going to put it in C tier. Just, there's a lot of better options out there. So, all right. Next we have the Flaccid Sniper Rifle. That's the sniper rifle that goes all wobbly. Let me get you an example here. And I've been just talking. Where is it? There it is. All right. Yeah, so as you can see, just, yeah. If you try to zoom, it's just useless. So, also, if you walk up to an enemy and you're 2 feet away, you can still miss. So this thing is garbage. It's garbage, but I'll give it one thing. I've killed more enemies with it than with the upside down pistol. So, my list is too long here. Where is it? It's the one with the curved barrel, not that one. I know I have it in here. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to put this one in D tier just because if you're like literally touching an enemy, you might kill them. And it doesn't mess your controls up. Anyway. Having high mouse sensitivity makes you pretty much immune to assault rifle. Yeah, another reason why the whole like making the other person look down thing isn't that big of a deal. Okay. Now, moving on to something marginally better is what I call the lag rifle. It's called the buffering rifle. I call it the lag rifle. You fire it, and about 1 or 2 seconds later, your bullet actually shoots from that location in the direction you're pointing. I have successfully used this running away from an enemy in the hallway. I fire it, keep running, then the enemy gets shot in the back. So that's pretty fun, but it's generally hard to use. So I'm also going to put this one in D tier. You can zoom with it, but enemies move. Even if they're just chilling, they don't know you're there, it's still really hard to hit them. All right. Now, coming to something that's actually pretty useful, the normal rocket launcher. It's a rocket launcher from Halo 1, you know? You hovered over it like 5 times. My mouse hovered over it, my eyes didn't necessarily. All right, normal rocket launcher is great. You don't get a lot of ammo for it, but does great damage. It goes where you want it to go. This one, the only thing that keeps it out of S tier is you don't get ammo for it much. It doesn't hold a lot in the first place. So it's not a long-term solution, but it does a lot of damage. I'm going to put it in A tier. And apparently it's one of my few PNGs, so it's just no background. Okay, well, we have done about 15 things here. No, now we're going to do number 15. Inconvenience rocket launcher. This is the one that points backwards. This is really fun in multiplayer, but it's hard to use. You do get, is it infinite ammo or just a lot? I'm pretty sure you get infinite ammo with it, which is great, but again, it's hard to use. So I think it is actually pretty balanced with the rocket launcher. You can use it long term, but I'm going to put it on the same level because they just balance out. Okay, I keep looking off the side because I got my list over here. And it looks like I'm looking at the tier list. Okay, next we have the plasma pistol. For the most part, the plasma pistol is just like in Halo CE. But if you charge it a bit, you get a fuel rod gun shot out of it. And if you charge it a lot, you get a nuke. Having those options without sacrificing the regular shooting, you know, rapid fire or here and there shooting, it's a great gun. One of my favorites, and because of the nuke, which is both hilarious and can be used very tactically, and you can get these plasma pistols all over in the game, this one's S tier. I love the plasma pistol, and it's one of the few really useful common guns in Halo CE, or sorry, in Cursed Halo. The variations of the Magnum, while useful, aren't always easy to find. But this one, you find them anywhere. It's great. Okay. Next we have the Magical Girl Gun, which I call the Heart Gun, because it shoots hearts. This one has homing projectiles, which are generally useful, but sometimes are annoying. Depends on the scenario. Sometimes it homes in wrong. You can charge it up, and it'll do a lot of damage on contact, and it slows down the enemy that it's hitting. You're usually swarmed with enemies, so that part doesn't matter too much, but still a really good gun. You can't get a nuke out of it, and it's not a terribly long-range weapon. So, because of that, I'm going to put it in, if I can find it, put it in A tier. Pretty great weapon, but, you know, just a couple things holding it back. Also, I hate getting shot by it. I know that's irrelevant, but I hate it when I get slowed down. So, next we have, why is this one even in here? The PP gun. This one is really hard to use. It doesn't shoot very far at all. It's just, it doesn't do a lot of damage either. You know, that's not even a saving grace it has. The only thing keeping this one out of F tier is that you can kill enemies and hurt them if you're reasonably close. That's it. So D tier for that one. Not great, but I guess it's not total worst. BP gun is A tier, really? Really good damage, but super short range. I don't know. I struggle to kill enemies with that. Alright, moving on to the triple plasma rifle. So this is the one where you pick up your triple plasma rifle and an extra arm. And if you melee, you see another arm, so you actually have 4 arms, which is pretty interesting. You can melee, you can throw weapons, or throw throwables, grenades and whatever. And rapid fire, a lot of damage output. You do tend to use up the batteries on these really quickly. I feel like it still uses the same battery amount as a single plasma rifle. Maybe not, but it just feels that way. So yeah, you go through that pretty quick. And what else? You can't really do long range with these very much. It's got too much spread on it, but you know, within 10, 20 yards, you know, it's probably fine. So it's reasonably good. I'm gonna put this one in B tier. All right, so on to number 20. Again, we have 57 to get through. So number 20, the Pew Pew laser gun. I want to show the video for this one because I actually like this one a lot. Here we go. So the Pew Pew laser gun. This one shoots as far as you can imagine. It's super long distance. A few shots and you gotta let it cool down, but you know, be reasonably slow with it, and there's no issue there. The battery does last a fairly long time with it, and it does pretty good damage output on enemies. 2 or 3 shots will probably take them out, and I like that one. I'm gonna put it up here, same level as the heart gun, A tier. That's where it deserves to be. Okay, now moving on to the Wraith gun, which I didn't even know was a thing, but he's got in the video here. Wraith gun and Scarab gun. They're the same thing, and they belong in the same place. The only problem with these guns is you can't use them indoors like at all, because you'll probably kill yourself. You gotta have like either a very large room or just be outside to not kill yourself with it. And you can only get them out of grenades. Like, it's really hard to get them. And so, like, if I could get them all the time, they'd be high up there. But because of those difficulties, I'm going to have to drop these just down a little bit into A tier. Let's see, where was it? I think my thumbnails are like near identical, but that doesn't matter because their function is near identical. So both of those going in A tier. All right, moving on to the RGB rifle. I like this one a lot. It's basically the regular Halo 1 plasma rifle without the single color. It's got a lot of color. Otherwise, pretty much the same. Useful weapon, decent range on it. You can pick them up fairly often. There's nothing super special about it. It's just a decent, well-rounded weapon. Put that in A tier. Next we have the texture remover gun. It's the same thing. A tier. Honestly, same. All right. Moving on, we have the Bit Crushed Plasma Rifle. This one, I want to show the video for it. It's not quite the same as these other ones because look how straight this thing fires. See how straight? Oh, and also the whole texture thing, that's fun. But you see how straight that thing fired? Yeah, great weapon, fires straight, pretty common, easy to pick up. I use this one a fair bit. I'm actually going to put this one in S tier because relative to everything else to choose from, it's actually a pretty great weapon. We'll pop this up here in S tier. All right. So, moving on to the Snarker. This thing's garbage. Here, let me put it in F tier and then I'll explain. There it is. All right. So, this is the Needler. But in Cursed Halo, it's the Snarker. It shoots... Here, I'll show you in the video here. It shoots little things that might home in on your enemies. Probably not. It's pretty dang useless, and when the enemies have it, they always come for you. This thing's garbage. Get rid of it. Like, sub F tier. Can't use it for anything, man. Okay. Next we have something actually really good, the Blunderbuss. The Blunderbuss is really good for a couple reasons. One, massive damage output if you're within about 5 feet of an enemy. And you can do some like parkour or getting places you shouldn't go with it. So both of those things make it really good. Decent ammo pickup. Reload takes a little while, but I mean, you blow everyone away enough that you probably have time to reload. So because of that, I'm going to bump this one up to S tier. I've used this to explore, break the game, send elites into orbit. It's fantastic. Any enemy will die to this thing if you get the right shot on them. The Snark Gun is definitely an S tier weapon unless you're on the receiving end. No, the Snark Gun sucks. I can't use it, and if I'm on the receiving end, it sucks for me too. Alright. Next, the Bent Shotgun. It's a shotgun that you can hardly ever hit your target with. Although, I have to admit, it is consistent. So if your target is... if your target's like 10 or 15 feet away, the reticle is going to be on target. Yeah, the reticle, it's off to the side there. 10 or 15 feet away, that'll be accurate, but closer than that, you kind of have to guess a little bit. But it still does pretty good damage, like a shotgun, just harder to aim. So, because of that, I'm going to put this one in A tier. Pretty good, and good ammo pickup as well. Okay, Fuel Rod Gun. You only get this from grenades, D20 grenades, but it's a pretty good weapon. Doesn't have the best ammo capacity or opportunities to pick up. Yeah. Don't pick it up too often. It's basically throwing a grenade, except it explodes on impact. So it's decent, but yeah, I don't pick it up too often, and it is hard to get. Like I said, D20 grenades is the only way to get it. So because of that, I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's not bad. It's just I hardly ever get it. It's hard to get. So okay, we are up to 30. So we're a bit past halfway now. Number 30, we have the Cube Gun. This was not included in the video here, but I have used this thing a ton. The Cube Gun is pretty common in later levels, not in early levels. You can shoot little cubes if you just fire. You can hold your fire button and then shoot big cubes. They move slow. It's a great way to clear a hallway or a line of enemies. But it is, again, slow. It uses up its charge pretty quick if you do big cubes. And so I'm just going to put it right here next to the other fuel rod gun. I think they fit nicely right there. All right, we're starting to get a little tall here. See if we can fit the rest here. Next, we have the Super Soaker. So, Super Soaker, it's just like the flamethrower, except it shoots water, and therefore you can shoot yourself back. As a weapon in combat, this thing is awful, but I have used it successfully in like speedrunning, in trying to go fast in places. I've used it a couple times to knock enemies off ledges, but it's, as a weapon, it's really not great. So I'm going to pop this in C tier, just because of the parkour options. Alright, and next right behind that we have the flamethrower. It shoots flames, does a lot of damage, but you have to get fairly close, and it only comes out of D20 grenades. So, yeah. It's better than the water gun, though, the Super Soaker, so I'll put that in B. Why is PP gun in D tier and backward pistol in S tier? Because the PP gun is... I've had terrible luck using it. It's hard to use. Throwing pistol, though, is infinite ammo and fantastic damage. So, that's why. And lots of practice with it, because that's the first thing you get every time you start a campaign. Backwards pistol is hard to aim for me. Sounds like a personal problem. Okay, firework crossbow. So we're about to have a bunch of Minecraft stuff. So maybe we can rapid fire this a little bit. So a firework crossbow, not a lot of ammo for it, but it does decent damage. You do have some opportunities to get it in campaign. Not too often though. It does decent damage, but don't hurt yourself with it. I'm gonna put that in B tier. Then we have the order might get a little weird here, but I was following that video I keep referencing. We have the Enchanted Diamond Axe. This thing has great knockback. If you saw my video of me completing the Hunter Challenge, that was the key. Great knockback, and it already does a lot of damage, so it's probably going to take out whoever you hit with. It has short range, and you don't get it very often. You got to get it out of a D20 grenade, but if you do get it, it's really great, and it's like the only way to beat the Hunter Challenge. Because of that, A tier. Alright. Diamond Sword. Now, regular Diamond Sword, it does some damage. It can be useful, but you do have to get up close. It's fairly common. I'm going to put it in B, because it's alright, but yeah, it could be better. Alright, Enchanted Diamond Sword. Basically the same thing, but it can throw enemies a long way, like the Enchanted Diamond Axe. So, I'm going to put that with the Enchanted Diamond Axe. Similar thing with how common it is, or uncommon. So, yeah. Alright. Next we have the bow. So, the bow, it's alright. It's hard to aim because of the whole arc thing, and you have to charge it up. You can't just fire. The melee on it is pretty fast, though. That is a redeeming feature most people probably wouldn't think about. Melee on this is pretty fast. It's fairly common, so I'll put it in B tier. Again, it's alright. I don't use it too often, but it's not garbage. Alright. Next we have the crossbow. Same thing, except you don't have to wait for it to charge up, but still, it's just, yeah. Now, Enchanted crossbow, honestly, the spread of the arrows isn't as useful in my experience as you might think. Enemies aren't clustered enough for it to hit a lot of them. You can take out an enemy in one hit, but also you don't get this very often. I think only D20s that spit out Minecraft box will give you this. So yeah, you know, most of Minecraft stuff it's alright, but there's better options out there. Okay. Oh, Diamond Axe. Just regular Diamond Axe. Yeah. Just like a sword. A little more damage, but yeah. Okay. And that puts us up to 40. Diamond Axe was number 40, actually. Next, we have the box tool gun. So the box tool gun, let me show the video here. Where is it? Alright, box tool gun. So this thing can be useful mostly as a defensive or a parkour kind of thing. I don't know of any offensive way to use it, honestly. but it's got the parkour options. I think it goes comfortably right here next to the Super Soaker because basically same purposes. All right, so we're gonna go through a lot of tool guns now. Let's see, that was the box tool gun. Now we have the push tool gun. This one's really useful. Holds a lot of ammo. It pushes the enemy, so they're going flying. Probably gonna die, and so just great weapon. I can barely read down here. All right, push tool gun. I'm gonna say that's a good A tier. The only that might even okay, A tier because reasons I'll get into in a minute. Yeah, push tool gun. It's great. You got to get it out of a D20 grenade, or there are grunts in some levels that'll drop it. That's pretty great. All right, what about next? Random tool gun. All right. Tactically, this one is really hard to use, but you can get so much good stuff out of it. And if you wait until you get a checkpoint to then fire it, it can be chaos. And so tactically, it's all right. But in terms of fun, S tier. Probably thought I was going to put a different tool gun up there. But yeah, random tool gun, it's a lot of fun. And you can get any of the good weapons with one of these. It's got enough ammo that you can just fire, and reload last checkpoint, fire, until you get what you want. So it's great. All right, next we have the crash tool gun. This thing is useless. That's all. Warthog tool gun. This one's all right. It shoots a warthog out of it, you know. Where is it? It's in the video, right? There it is. Yeah, warthog tool gun, shoots a warthog. They do a lot of damage. This thing doesn't hold a lot of ammo, but it's useful, and if you need a warthog, boom, there's a warthog. I'm gonna say that's a C tier because you know there's a lot of better options. But if you need some, if you need to go places, I can barely read one here. No, not D. That's C tier. Okay. Next, Thanos tool gun. This is also garbage. Next we have the pain tool gun. This thing is mostly just hard to use and difficult, but it's not entirely garbage. If you use it on an enemy, you know, give them a couple minutes, they'll die. But unless you fire a whole bunch at them, it does take a little while. And there's so many things that kill enemies quicker. So pain tool gun, I'll put it here in D tier. It's just hard to use. It can kill enemies about as well as these other weapons, so it fits there. All right, flame tool gun was not featured in the video I keep referencing, but it shoots fire. It's basically the pain tool gun, but it sets them on fire instead. It's mildly more useful just because it can affect a group of enemies instead of just whichever one gets hit with it. Although I guess you can shoot pain at the ground, but still. Flame tool gun, I'm going to put that one, kind of like high D, low C. I'll put it in C. Okay. So that is it for the tool guns. Oh, and that was number 50. So we are down to the last few here. Next, throwable TNT. Whew. All right. So throwable TNT. Reference the video again here. Basically, it's basically a grenade. Like, this is a frag grenade, except if you kill an enemy, it drops out of their pockets on the ground. You can shoot that, and it'll ignite. That's the only difference between a frag grenade and throwable TNT. Pretty useful, not too spectacular. I think that deserves a spot in A tier, though. It's pretty good. Man, can't even see what's down here anymore. All right. Hold on, I think I missed a... Did I miss a tool gun? Oh, I did. I missed a tool gun a few minutes ago. I thought there was a spot up here deserving of something. Yes, the thruster tool gun. The thruster tool gun is so much fun. Where is it? Here it is. So you can attach thrusters to stuff. You get lots of ammo. It's hilarious. It's basically the push tool gun, but you can use it tactically. In co-op, it's really fun to use. It's just a fun gun, but it is still just as effective. No, it's maybe even more effective. And it's just fun to use. I'm going to pop that up into S tier. I also forgot the pull tool gun, apparently. Just as good as the push tool gun. Yeah. Push, pull, moves enemies around. Although, it's you can't pull them up into a wall, but you can push them up high. I'm going to drop that a tier, actually, just because of that. Harder to kill enemies with it. Jay the Blaze, welcome to stream. Alright. Sorry, I missed a few there. Now, we can move on to the throwables. Yeah, so throwable and TNT, it's alright. It's pretty good. But a little bit more fun and awesome is the throwable Hoglet. Now, if you've watched much of my Cursed Halo, you'll know I love the Hoglet. It is the best thing in all of Cursed Halo. There's a lot of great things in Cursed Halo. Now, I've also said in somewhat recent times, still going back a few months at least though, the Hoglet is the greatest weapon in Cursed Halo. I have said that. Now, being able to throw one of these things, well, anything that hits is going to die. And you can drive it and then kill more things. There is no way a throwable Hoglet is not S tier. I love this thing. It is fantastic. And we're starting to reach the point where I just can't fit the whole thing on screen. I can't make it wider, can I? No? Alright, whatever. Okay. Next we have the Plasma Grenade. Separates into a whole bunch more Plasma Grenades. Really useful for clearing areas. It's just really good. I think it also deserves S tier. It's not, I don't like... Here, let me actually put the throwable Hoglet at the beginning of S tier. That's how good it is. Plasma Grenade is just really good at clearing enemies. Fantastic weapon. You pick them up fairly often. So, okay. Next, the D20 Grenade. Remember when I talked about the random tool gun, how tactically it can be useful, but what pops out of it is, you know, going to make or break whether it is useful. With the random tool gun, you get a lot of chances. With a D20, you throw one, you get that one chance. And I find most of the time it either gives me something useless or even something bad. like a nuke that would blow me up, or trees that soft lock the game, or a bounce, or buff Raikou, or there's just so many things that can break the game out of a D20 grenade, but they are fun. But there's just so many opportunities to mess your day up. I'm going to put it in B tier. You are like, Cho Man, how could you? Also, this is getting too tall. Can I zoom out? Oh. Yeah, I can. Start seeing some ads on the side of the screen. That's alright. Ooh, what is this? What is the orange thing? D20 is OG. I mean, it can be. I've just had it break my games too many times. Okay. So these last three, you might be surprised to think of them as weapons, but they are. Alright, so we have Karate, which, yeah, I mean, hurts enemies. We use to great effect. We have the double jump. In case you can't tell, these are pistols strapped to Chief's ankles. And then we have the pistol barrage thing. I'll share my thoughts on that in a minute. But first, Karate. I love the Karate. My only problem with it is it does leave me somewhat vulnerable. I have died to sword jackals a number of times because of it. And yeah, that's my only gripe with it. So I'm going to put it in A tier. Pretty dang good, but it does have that flaw. You get it in the first level of the game, so you have it the whole game. Double jump, also really useful. You can use it in combat. If you jump over an enemy, it'll shoot down on them. but you can also use it for like parkour, for getting places you shouldn't go. You can use it in the hoglet to do an ollie, if you know what I'm saying. So this one is tactically not as good as karate, but because you can go places, that kind of makes up for it. So this is also A tier. I don't know how to make it better. Like it's a double jump. It's a good thing. It's nothing I'd really add to it. It's just not S tier. Not quite. Okay. Now finally we have the pistol barrage. Now if you have if you've seen my series when I tried it out once, it's not that useful. If you can trigger it, it's a little difficult to trigger, but if you can trigger it, it's still not that effective. It's probably going to miss the enemies in front of you. They're going to come up and smack you in the face or stab you with a sword or whatever else while you're sitting there firing all these pistols. Yeah, it's also kind of garbage. So, okay, that right there is my tier list. These are the things that I think are the best to the worst in Cursed Halo. Again, they're relative to each other. Some of the good things are good because of the less good things. So, yeah. Behold my tier list. It's a little bit bigger for you. Hold on, can I make full screen? Here we go. Behold my tier list of all the weapons in Cursed Halo at the moment. Did I miss any? Can anyone think of any weapons that I might have missed? Now, even though I talked about the hoglet as a weapon, I'm technically only talking about the throwable hoglet here. So, I'm going to leave out all the other vehicles. Maybe I should do a tier list of all the vehicles. The hoglet's obviously going to be S tier if I make that list. But there's actually a lot of vehicles in Cursed Halo. So, maybe that's an option. Maybe that's an idea I could do. But what did I miss? I guess there are the potions. Would you consider that weapons? There's potions of harming, but then there's invisibility, which is entirely not an offense kind of thing. I don't know. Black hole tool gun. Yeah, that one was missed. I'd probably put that one in B tier. It would go higher, except it's very easy to kill yourself with that one. Oh, I forgot the now drink also. You can melee with that. Wait, is the now drink still in the game? Because there's a potion that gives you an overshield. Was that removed? I think it was removed. Well, that does it for the tier list of all the weapons in Cursed Halo, all 57 of them. What do you think? Where would you put certain things? I know everyone has different experiences. Some people in chat said the PP gun was great. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm JoeMan543, and I hope y'all have a fantastic week, weekend, whatever. Peace out, bosses. Bye-bye.